I had a root canal recently removed, and once they did the DNA biopsy on the tooth, they found 20 different types of parasites growing and living inside of my jaw. And as soon as my root canal was removed, within 48 hours, this big weight that was on my head instantly. And I said, wow, I can't imagine how many more people are in the very same situation that I am, that they think that they have dementia or they can't focus when in reality, there's something wrong with their body.
What's a conspiracy theory you 100% know is true?
Root canals. There's this YouTube video, which before was a documentary on Netflix before it got pulled after 2 weeks, known as The Root Cause. The Root Cause discusses the big psyop by dental industry and by big pharma to fuck people's health up through root canals. Root canals filled with mercury, formaldehyde, and all sorts of chemicals that disrupt your meridian lines. They disrupt the ability to actually think properly. A lot of signs of dementia attached to the heavy metals in the body. But this is, common dentistry practice nowadays. I would say the biggest psyop or the biggest conspiracy theory is that people think that their mouth or their teeth isn't connected to the rest of their body and that there are no consequences for poor dental health. If you want to watch, The Root Cause, you can't even watch it in the United States. You have to turn on a VPN because it's banned by the American Dental Association, which is in bed with Big Pharma. And I can say that because dentists can't say it because they'll lose their license. But I can say it because I don't have a license. If you have a root canal, get it out of your mouth, go to a biodentist, and you'll realize that there's 30 million plus people a year getting root canals, and a lot of them are getting sick, whether it's the idea of ADHD, cancer, losing your memory, having heart failure. Everything can be tied back and connected to root canals. I know it's a big one that people weren't talking about and haven't been talking about because a few years ago, I was a big advocate for fluoride. Hey, there's fluoride in the water. Tap water's bad. Tap water's for NPCs. Tap water's for bots. Became mainstream. Everybody talked about it. I talked about BlackRock as one of the governing, superpowers of the world. Then that became a mainstream conspiracy. Root canals. Watch it. It's one of the biggest psyops in the world. But people are slowly waking up. And after this piece of content, I'm sure a lot of people will look into it and get them extracted and removed.
So you said 30 million people in the US.
30 million people a year in the world.
Wow. And then that's just, when do you get a root canal? Just like when a cavity
touches your nerve or it's getting close to your nerve and you can't save the tooth. So basically a root canal is the embalming of a dead tooth. So you're embalming a dead tooth, something that shouldn't be in your body, but they keep it there in perpetuity, whether it's for aesthetics or looks or you just are trying to save the tooth. But everybody knows in dentistry that a root canal is full of bacteria. And I had a root canal recently removed. And once they did the DNA biopsy on the tooth, they found 20 different types of parasites growing and living inside of my jaw, which is absolutely horrendous. And obviously the dentist isn't going to tell you that. And many times the dentists don't know themselves. So stay away from fluoride, which we've talked about, ladies and gentlemen. And now stay away from root canals.
So you should just kill the tooth, like remove the tooth completely.
Remove the tooth, remineralize the jaw, and then implant zirconium. Zirconium implant, never have a metal implant in your mouth. Zirconium implant made mostly, if I'm not mistaken, in a way that doesn't have any metal. I think it's 0.005 or 0.05% metal. And then it basically grips really well to your jawbone. And that's the way to heal. It takes about 3 to 6 months to properly heal from a tooth extraction. No smoking, no high fructose corn syrup, no sugar. You need to also eliminate the things that are rotting your teeth. Everything collectively in the world is designed to fuck you up, whether it's food, water, big pharma, medicine. And you just have to be very alert, very aware, because the root canal that I got when I was living back in Argentina, small little village, and it was the local dentist. He didn't know any better, but I had to deal with, what I believed was ADHD or brain fog. And as soon as my root canal was removed, within 48 hours, this big weight that was on my head disappeared instantly. And I said, wow, I can't imagine how many more people are in the very same situation that I am, that they think that they have dementia or they can't focus when in reality, there's something wrong with their body. And it can be traced many times to the teeth.
So the main cause of cavities is sugar, you would say?
Well, no, the main is poor dental hygiene.
Yeah.
It's just across the board. If you smoke a lot, you'll burn your teeth.
So do you brush your teeth?
Yeah, absolutely. Coconut oil, amazing way to brush your teeth. Coconut oil, hydrogen peroxide is very good. No fluoride toothpaste is very good as well. Menthol, mint. Everything needs to be organic. Everything needs to be clean. If you're putting it in your mouth, if you're not going to swallow it and eat it, then it shouldn't be on your body altogether. So I'm very conscientious about what I ingest, what I drink, what I eat, because I know that it has real world consequences with everything that I do. But it's a long-term process. You know, people were never taught that their teeth are actually organs connected to the rest of their body. You can actually find the meridian lines and how certain teeth are attached to different organs. And the root canal that I had was actually attached through meridian lines to the heart. And I was previously diagnosed with some heart issues. And those heart issues, they did a biopsy and they found certain bacteria, and those bacteria were actually found in the same root canal as well. And then they traced that there was a septic tooth that was through the bloodstream going into the heart. I've had relatives die, you know, from heart failure, and I can trace all of them. All of them had root canals. It's very, very crazy. A lot of people that I know that have cancer, they have root canals. So it's the biggest conspiracy theory that, well, because of me, who are famous, will now become extremely well known and talked about, that people in the dental industry really couldn't talk about. And I've talked to dentists that are biodentists that have had, you know, like mafia level pharma come to them saying, hey, we're going to send patients in, and if you tell them that mercury poisons your body, we're taking your license away. We're taking you to jail. And that's the power, that's the grip that pharma has on the American and on the American people, on the American kind of perspective of what is health. When they tell you that, hey, you're going to eat all this sugar, all this candy, it's totally fine for you. Just brush your teeth with fluoride toothpaste, Colgate 2-3 times a day, floss once a day, 2 times a day with nylon plastic, and you'll be totally fine. And that's just simply not the case. So a lot of people have fucked up teeth, especially you guys from the UK. UK people have fucked up teeth. Get your shit checked out.